Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you. This is Patricia Crane speaking, and this is the Heal Your Life training information for Singapore. And we're so excited that you chose to join us today, and we're very excited to share the information about the training. So we're going to give you a lot of basics and a lot of information, but even more important, we're going to share with you a career with meaning and purpose and heart. You know, the work of Louise Hay is all about loving yourself, loving others, and really transcending some of those negative messages in your background. And it is such a beautiful way of transformation, a way to live. And then in the training, you learn all about how to share that amazing work with other people. Now, I am joined today at the webinar with Jasmine Cheong, and she took the training in 2012 with her wonderful husband, Kim Beng Yu. And they became workshop leaders then. Jasmine later came and took the workshop leader coach training and is now going to be training in Singapore for teacher trainer for that area. She also teaches, both of them do in English and Chinese, which I think is Mandarin. So I think that is so wonderful. I can't imagine. That's absolutely terrific. And we're so excited to be really taking this work to a broader area in that region. So I'm going to tell you a little more about how the training actually started with approval from Louise when I trained with her. But we do like to start with a reading from Louise. And the one I've chosen for tonight is Meditations to Heal Your Life. Now I'm saying tonight because it's tonight in California, but it's the morning in Singapore. So wherever you are joining us, thank you. And this particular reading is called Love Makes My World Go Round. My love is powerful. I treat myself as if I am someone who is deeply loved. And you might want to just take a nice deep breath and actually close your eyes listening to this. All kinds of events come and go, yet through it all, the love for myself is constant. And I don't know about having anything to shift or change. I know that I'm good enough just the way I am. Self-love is simply appreciating the miracle of my own being. And when I really love myself, I can't hurt myself or others. To me, the answer to world peace is unconditional love. It begins with self-acceptance and self-love. I no longer wait to be perfect in order to love myself. I accept myself exactly as I am, right here and right now. And so it is. So just take another breath and open your eyes. Now, doesn't that just feel good? Doesn't that just feel great listening to those words? And if you listen to any of the audios or the videos on YouTube with Louise, you will just really be able to transform and feel so great. So I really encourage you to do that as well. And we have a lot of videos we share also. Now, the background of the training is that actually I was already using affirmations when I found Louise's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And I will show you my book. This is my book. And the original one, as you can see, it's held together with a rubber band because I used it so much. And there's Jasmine's. It has fallen apart. So of course I do have actually a couple of newer versions of it, but this was my very original version. And I have obviously used it quite a bit. So I was already using affirmations and I'd read a lot, but when I found Louise's book, I thought, you know, this is the most powerful book I have read to date, and I'd read a lot, that brings together the physical, emotional, mental, and the spiritual all together. So I was so excited about it. And of course, I was buying extra copies and giving to people like a lot of us do. And then I was fortunate to meet Louise at a breakfast meeting a couple of years later. And it was thrilling to meet her. It was a small group. It was before this book became a bestseller. And so we had a lovely conversation. I got on her mailing list. And Louise was already teaching the 2-day workshop, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life, which if you come to the training, you will also be trained to share. And Jasmine and Kim are already teaching that 2-day workshop wonderfully well. So we're so thrilled about that because it's very transformational. So Louise had been teaching that, but I enrolled in the very first 1 week program that she did. So we did a lot of really intense inner work, and it was just amazing how many things shifted, how much more awareness I had and all the other participants in our lives. And then I came to the next one that she did about 6 months later. And after that, I was so fortunate to be asked to be on staff for the intensives. So I assisted Louise, taught with her for the next 5 intensives. And about that time, she got on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And Oprah Winfrey holds up a book, and it's a bestseller overnight. So the phones at Hay House were ringing off the hook. Louise got so busy, she didn't have time to do a lot of teaching the way she had been. So she called me and a few others and said, how would you like to start teaching the 2-day workshop for me? Well, what do you think we said? We said, yes, that sounds like a wonderful idea. So we began teaching. Hay House sent me to a number of different places in the US, Canada, and ultimately I ended up in the United Kingdom, in England. And after I'd been over there a few times to do the 2-day workshop, people started saying, you know, this workshop has changed our lives so much over and above the book. Could you have a training program so we could learn how to do it? Well, I'd never thought of a training program. And so I came back to the US, I called Louise, and I said, Louise, people want a training program. And she thought about it for a moment. She said, okay. So I was obviously thrilled, and that started 24 years ago. And now there are several thousand Heal Your Life teachers worldwide, 71 countries, 41 US states. There are 23 teacher trainers in many different countries, and soon after the Singapore training, Jasmine will also be our teacher training, assisted by Kim. So I'm really thrilled to just share the background of the training with you. We'll tell you more about the specifics with Singapore in a moment. But now I'm going to shift and ask Jasmine if she'll just share more about her background with Louise's work. Oh, and one more thing I will say, Jasmine and Kim have a wonderful organic shop. And my husband, Rick, and I will be teaching together in Singapore, but we were so thrilled to visit with them last year and actually go to their shop, and it was a wonderful experience. And they showed us all around Singapore too, which was very exciting. So Jasmine, let me start with you and just, you know, how Louise's work changed your life, and then also about the training. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks to Louise, she has created an awareness in me, knowing that I can change my life by changing my thoughts. In the past, I used to be very practical, and I plan and plan and plan. And I do everything in advance in my head here, doing the planning. And I create a lot of emotions in me, a lot of emotions. Emotions can be good or bad, but I create a lot of that is fear, a lot of guilt, a lot of angers. So through Louise, I learned how to love myself. So loving myself, I'm willing to change. Loving myself, I'm willing to release and let go. Loving myself, I'm willing to forgive and set myself free. That's a wonderful thing. And Louise mentioned, just be willing. You do not need to wait until you are perfect or you have know everything, then you start changing. Just be willing. So for the start, for me, that is to just believe and trust, just be willing. That was ridiculous at the time. But surprise, miracles happens. And I just strictly follow and I just do affirmation. What Louise said, do affirmations every day because we have 60,000 thoughts in a day. So just by saying, I'm open and receptive to all goods for once, how about the rest? 59,999. Are you feeling negativities? Are you emotional? So once I understand, it's my thoughts and my words that create my life. I choose to love myself, so I change. And through this training, I learned that is to connect to my inner child. Many of us, we have the inner child that has been lost, lonely, and that is fearful, or that is even rejections of ourselves and about life. But in a workshop, I learned to look at the mirror and looking into my own eyes and say, I love you. I really, really love you. So it really touches me. So in the beginning, when I said this to my inner child, I feel a warmness in my heart and I cry. It was so touching. My child has been waiting for me for long. So there was a wonderful exercise in the training. Not only that, I learned to release the old emotions that has been keeping me stuck in this life. So it was the wonderful things that after releasing the angers, the guilt, and the fear, I felt that I'm a giant when I come back from US to Singapore. I felt that I was so huge. Why am I so tall? It's because I have dropped all the weight, all the burdens on my shoulder. So that was a wonderful training in US. And thanks to Patricia that you have taught us so many methods and ways and tools and provide an environment for us to express ourselves. So that was a wonder. And in Singapore, I conduct in English and in Chinese. In the beginning, I conduct in English. So many of them, you can see coming in, there was a face like, but after the training, a big smile. Their life has been transformed.
Mm-hmm.
Their life has been transformed. And not only that, I see the beautiful of them that is bringing their family members because they influence, they change, and that is their family members know how can you make it? How do you do it? So it'll be easy for them to actually come in because there's someone important in the family. They're the key person. Once they change, the whole family change. And once they change, the whole environment change.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a beauty in this training.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who can't speak English, so they want us to actually teach in Chinese. There was a time where we translate everything in Chinese.
Yeah.
Now, many of us, we learn from young, that is, keep everything to ourselves. You cannot speak up. You have to keep it to yourself, be quiet, and just listen. But we are human. We have emotion. So at the time, many of us, as we censor our feelings, we cannot feel our feelings. But in the training, we teach them it's okay to have feelings. Where there's a feeling, there's a healing. So love yourself. Be willing to feel. Be willing to feel. So that was a very good one, where everyone knew that there's someone important here, and they deserve and worthy. So it's having feeling, it's okay. So going beyond our parents' limitation and going beyond our childhood fear and limitation, there was a wonderful things that they learned. That is the tools. Their mind is a tools. By changing their mind, their thoughts, their life change. So that was the beauty coming for the training.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Kim,
Yep.
you share about your experience, how Louise's work changed your life and your experience at the training. Then we'll get back to doing, talking about some of the workshops you've done too. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have learned many things from Louise, and one of the things that changed me a lot is, to learn how to use affirmation to overcome my fear.
Mm-hmm.
I came from a fearful family, and my father is an alcoholic, and it's naturally for me to think negative when something happened in my life. So after learning about this teaching, and I take my own power back by directing my thoughts to a more positive direction, to the result that I want. So it's a skill that I learned from Louise, how to heal myself. So it was interesting, to during the training in US is how when I first started to learn to look into the mirror and say I love you, I really really love you. That was something very new to me, and initially I couldn't accept this kind of teaching because we are being taught, to love someone but not loving ourselves. We have never. This is a new idea to me, that how a man to love a man is something very something that is a new idea to me. So when I go deeper and I understand that it's very important to connect with myself and to listen to my inner voice. So after learning Louise Hay teaching, and I begin to use affirmation in my life, and it changed a lot in my life. Even the little things in my life, like a parking lots. Singapore are so packed, and it's sometimes when you go to places, it's difficult to find a parking lots. So before I go to that places, I usually affirm that I have a beautiful parking lots waiting for me. So every time I get I just find a place to park. There's no, it's just life just work. on these little things of, and even when I face challenges in my life, I know immediately I know how to deal with it is by taking care of my thoughts, by changing, by taking care of my thoughts, by doing affirmation, and things turn out to be what I want in my life. So it's a very useful way of learning how to cope with my life. And during the training in US, it's so interesting that I get to meet with people around the world. We have participants from Mexico, in the US, Canada, even people from Turkey, and even people from Russia. We get to train together, and um, the goodness and the beauty is that we don't see the differences. Even we are from different country, different culture, and different religion, we are being trained as one. We learn together as one.
Yeah.
And the training itself is so comprehensive that we are able to choose, what we want to teach when we comes back to our own country. And I would say it's a very it's a unforgettable training in my life that I have experienced. And after coming back from the US in 2012, and we didn't start our workshop immediately, not till in the year of 2013, and we always do it together with Jasmine to conduct our workshop. And it's very interesting to see how people transform.
Yes.
Within just 2 days. It's just, just within 2 days you can see so much different in them. And you can see we have like mother and son coming together to the workshop to be trained together to experience the workshop together. Is so interesting. And we have husband and wife joining us together, and you can see the beauty is you can see the changes in them just right away within 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's a very meaningful and it's a very interesting work that we are doing in our life.
Well,
Yeah.
you're doing fabulous work there, and you've led together quite a few workshops, the 2-day workshop and the 10-week study group, right?
Yeah,
And more,
yeah, that's right.
and even
Yeah,
more.
more.
So you've done a lot. That's
Yeah,
absolutely.
we even do retreats in Nepal
And retreats.
this year. Yeah, where we have a tour and as well as a workshop during our retreats.
Yeah, that's
So
wonderful. And
we
just what you're both of you are saying, I mean, that's the feedback that we get constantly from people who come to the training and then go back to their respective countries and start, leading the workshops and the study groups, etc., is just how amazing and how heartwarming and gratifying it is to help other people, to guide them, and how to change their lives. And I'm so glad you mentioned too how international the workshop training was in the US, because even though we're holding the workshop training in Singapore, people from any country are welcome to come. And so we invite an international group to come to Singapore as well. And I bet there are a lot of people who have never been there that would like to come and do a little sightseeing as well. So
yes,
thank you. We're going to come back and talk to you a little bit more in a minute or two, in a few minutes. But I also want to just go through now the workshop schedule and all the materials that you get, because we've been talking about the 2-day workshop, the 10-week study group, etc. So I want everybody that's on the webinar to learn more about the actual structure of the week. We start in the afternoon on March 7th with an orientation, so everyone can meet each other, meet us. We go over the specific schedule there, and we have dinner together. And then the next 2 days, we actually take you through the 2-day workshop, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop, so that you can experience it from your own needs and what you need to experience with that 2-day workshop, and also so that you would know what your participants would be experiencing when you're actually teaching it. So those are 2 very full days. Sometimes people come to the training, they've already done the 2-day workshop. That's fine. I did 7 intensives with Louise, and I can tell you that each one was very transformational, and I released more and more and learned more and more about myself. So you could do that 2-day workshop or the 10-week study group many times, but we do take everyone through it. So if there are people who haven't been, they get that experience. And then at the end of the 2-day workshop, you get the materials, the manuals. You get a complete script, all the music, everything, the handouts that go along with the 2-day workshop. And then you also get a 10-week study group. And the 10-week study group, you know, you would be teaching that once a week for 10 weeks. Sometimes it's broken up into 5 weeks and 5 weeks. But you can actually take those 2 manuals and lead up to 14 different workshops. So 3 hours, you know, full days, etc. We go over that. So you have a lot of materials to take home with you to use and actually get going right away. The next day, we actually go back through the 2-day workshop from the standpoint of you as the facilitator. You know, what kinds of things can you expect when you lead that workshop? We actually, and we don't require everyone that you have to go home and lead a workshop right away. You know, we do a lot of support with you afterwards to encourage you. Everybody has their own pace. And so we honor that. And some people start out with just 3-hour workshops. That's absolutely fine. Others with 1-day workshops, some with the 2-day. But we go over all of that at the training. Then we also do some time and work with deepening your intuition, with the body-mind connection, because Louise is so well known for that and in her own healing from cancer. We do a section on the inner child, shoulds and coulds. We also do some more work around prosperity, because that's a very important one and an area that a lot of people need some help with. Then we also take some time to delve more deeply into the 10-week study group, and that's later in the week. And then finally, the last full day, we talk about marketing. You know, how do you actually attract people to your workshops, both on the inner work and on the outer actions, things that you need to do. So we talk about those. You get another little manual on marketing, and Kim and Jasmine will help me to revise that one for Singapore and other Asian countries, because it'll be a little bit different than the one in the US, right?
Okay.
And then we have
Definitely.
beautiful meditations in the afternoon for you to get ready to go home. And then on the last day, the 14th of March, it's a half day, and we do some beautiful closing work at the last in a circle, and really just, you know, emphasize and kind of go within about everything that you've learned and shifted for the week. And then we have some beautiful meditations and certificates. So you get a certificate at the end of the week. So I'm just going to stop there and open up the chat and just say, if anybody has questions that they want to ask you, please, you know, you can post them over there. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the logistics, but now I'm going to ask Kim if he will just talk about the hotel. He and I have been emailing a whole lot about all the preparations with the hotel, and so you can tell them about it, because you have chosen a beautiful place for the training. And that's another thing that's really important to us in the training, is that you're also in an environment that you feel is nurturing for you, because we want you to feel that nurturing, and because we love you and think you're worth it. So Kim, if you'll tell us a little bit more about the hotel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it took a while for us to find this hotel, and we have been to a few of them, and we have chosen this is because the location wise is near to the airport. It's about 10 minutes from the airport itself, and is located, you know, near to the nature. When you get to the hotel, immediately you feel the peace and calm. And this hotel itself is on the eastern part of Singapore, and it's about, if you want to get to the shopping district in Singapore, it's about 30 minutes from the hotel itself, and it's only 5 minutes from there's a, what I call that, this is a beach. There's a beach park over in just a 5 minutes walk from the hotel itself. So when you finish our training, you can just go there to have a relaxed walk, or, you know, can do cycling, swimming, over at the beach park. And just opposite the hotel itself, there are a lot of we call it a hawker center. It's a hawker center whereby you can find local food over there. There are many varieties. If I remember correctly, there are about 50 stores selling different local food. You can get a chance to to taste the local food over there. And the hotels, talking about the hotel amenities, they do provide complimentary shuttle from the airport. So for people who are participating this training, they need not worry about how to get to the hotel. Just there's a pickup point over at the I think 3 terminals over in Changi Airport. So they do provide a free shuttle bus to the hotel itself. Yeah. So other than that, they do have like outdoor swimming pool. There are 2 swimming pool over there, spa, gym, and they do have this Japanese restaurants and Italian restaurant within the hotel itself. So so there are a lot of things to explore, and for participants who want to extend their stay, they can choose to take a little ferry or boat, to this little island that's near to the hotel, whereby they can do a bird watching or cycling or hiking before they go back to their country. It's very interesting. You can, it's just only like a 10 minutes ride, taking a little boat. So yeah, other than that, the rest are all the facilities are quite general. They have it in all the hotels. So, but the location itself is amazing, and it's very interesting. For people who have not been to Singapore, I believe they will find this place interesting.
Beautiful.
Right?
And how many meals are included with the training?
Most of the meal will be provided. Most of the meal, 2 dinner, all the breakfast and lunch, and some dinner, you can experience yourself just right across the street. Just a 5 minutes walk, you can experience all the local food.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Jasmine, would you give your website address, and maybe Kim, you could type it in while she's saying it on the chat. If you just go to the chat, you can type it in. So just go ahead and say the website and anything else you want to add, Jasmine. Okay, the website. Oops, I think we might have frozen up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, can you see where the chat is over on the right-hand side? Kim, you can type in the address for the website.
The right-hand side.
Yeah. You have to click on chat and then go to the right-hand side and you can type it in. Okay.
Our website.
Yeah. Go ahead and say, just go ahead and
maybe
say.
I'll speak up.
Maybe you just,
okay.
I do that later. Yeah.
Okay. Our website is www.healyourlifesg.com.
Okay. Very easy. healyourlifesg.com. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect. And we do have a question. When is the Singapore training? And it is March 7th through the 14th. And if you just go to the website, you'll get all the information there. So I also want to talk about, they do get, when they register with a deposit, when you register with a deposit, you also get a confirmation email. And so that gives you all the information that you need about what to bring, when to arrive, the airport, getting the shuttle, right?
Yep.
And everything like that. So, we ask that you get there probably by 2:00 in the afternoon on the 7th. And then we start with our first open circle, our orientation, at about 4:00 or 4:30. We'll let everybody know for that, okay? So, and also we're being asked how much it is. So I was actually, you just thought of it because I was going to say that next. So I will talk about that. um, and the full price is 5,695 Singapore dollars, and that includes your room, double occupancy, all the meals we already talked about, all the training during the week, the manuals that you get, and we do follow-up afterwards. And I'll talk about the follow-up a little bit later, but we do a lot of follow-up because it really is our commitment to help everyone that comes to the training to share Louise's work. You know, we don't just wave you out the door and say, have a nice life at the end of the training, because, which a lot of trainings do, right? And so we are really committed to helping you. So it's total 5,695. There is a deposit initially, and usually it's $895, but we are giving you a discount until October 8th, which would have been Louise's 92nd birthday, of $150. So your deposit is $745, and then you'll get another $400 discount off of that balance, which isn't due until we go into January. So you don't have to pay everything at once. The deposit is first, you get all the information, and then you pay later, and you'll get email about that as well, as we go into 2020. And so that brings the total cost down to somewhere around 5,200, I think, 5,100. And so you do get a pretty big discount by registering within the next 3 weeks, and then automatically you'll get $400 discount off of the balance. Now here's another question, whether we have a special rate for couples or a family. You know what, we will talk about that and get back to you, because we actually hadn't set that. So we can talk about an extra amount of a discount for a couple as well. And if you'll just email one of us, you got onto this webinar somehow, so you must have gotten an email. So just email one of us afterwards and remind us that we're going to give you a special rate. And we talk about a couple or a family, let us know what you're talking about in terms of a family. But that's a great question. That's really a great question. And I have to say, you know, Jasmine and Kim came together as a married couple, and we absolutely were thrilled to have another couple coming. We've only had several couples over the years. Usually people are coming as singles, you know, or with a friend sometimes. And so we're very delighted to have, you know, the couples teaching together, because that's a nice balance right there too. Okay, so let me check out what else. Let's see. Some of the other questions that we get, besides asking about the cost, we do have a licensing program, and this is through Hay House. And Hay House Inc. is what Louise started when she wrote You Can Heal Your Life. And so that has become the premier body, mind, spirit publisher in the US. And they also have branches now in Australia, England, I think South Africa even. So they've got branches in other countries as well. And when Louise first approved the training, it was with a hug and a handshake. And that was fine initially. This was, you know, a number of years ago. But as time progressed, it was really looking like it was more time for an official, you know, kind of connection and agreement with Hay House. And then Louise did the You Can Heal Your Life movie. And if you haven't seen that, it's fabulous. I'm not sure if it's actually on YouTube for free or not. You can certainly get a copy of it from Hay House. We often show it in the evenings at the trainings, but she did You Can Heal Your Life, the movie, and that became so popular, and a lot was happening with the movie and other things in business, and they decided to trademark You Can Heal Your Life and Heal Your Life. And actually even Louise's name is trademarked in a number of countries. So the trademark lawyer called my husband Rick and I and said, you know, we know that you're training people. We're going to be doing these trademarks. So how would you like to have a special agreement with Hay House where really your groups are the only ones that can officially use Heal Your Life? And You Can Heal Your Life is used more generally, but the Heal Your Life is specific to the training program. So what do you think we said? We said, yes, it sounds like a great idea. So the official licensing program started in 2009. It's been very successful. We consider it another level of professionalism beyond the certification that you get. So you get a certification, you know, and you get a certificate, but then the licensing is another level of professionalism. And that license is $99 a year. It is renewable every year for you to be able to use all the copyrighted materials and also to use the term Heal Your Life and a special logo. And you'll see that logo on Kim and Jasmine's website. So that has been trademarked worldwide as well. So you're able to use those. You'll see that a lot all over the internet, Facebook in particular. The heart that Kim is sitting in front of, that's not exactly the same as the logo, but that's Louise's heart that she's used, on the book, and a square all over the place. So we have banners with the heart on it that we use quite a bit. But the licensing program is a really important addition to the training. And then as part of the that licensing program every year, when you do renew, you get another free 3-hour course. So, you actually continually get materials from us. And that $99 also includes a lot of perks. Like we have a specific website, healyourlifeworkshops.com. You can go and look at that one. You can look up Singapore and find Jasmine and Kim and a few other people in the Asian network as well. And that includes the website. It includes a private Facebook group where we do a lot of support work. It includes extra videos from us that are personal to you, representation at some of the Hay House events, not all of them, and a number of other things that really, again, are a support to you in going forward and sharing the work, and also every year getting a new course. So I'm going to turn it back to Jasmine and just see if there's anything else you'd like to either share right now or anything else you'd like to,
Yes,
the training.
I sincerely invite all of you to join in. If you have been very successful in life, great, congratulations. Come and join in and make your life even more fulfilling, because there's someone there waiting for you, for your services, your knowledge, and your wisdom. If you are a person who has gone through a lot of emotions, a lot of that is issue in your life, experiences, come in and heal your life. Heal your life, and you can heal the world. Because your life has purpose. So that is, you are going through all this because there's someone out there that's facing the same problem as you that needs your guidance. So if you're someone who has been that's asking, what is life? Why am I here? Then please come in and find the purpose of your life in this training. It is a fabulous, fabulous training. Not only healing yourself, you will see that as you are the creator of your own life. Every experiences that you're creating right now is through your asking. So once you understand, you manage your emotion by managing your thoughts. So it was a wonderful one. Take this opportunity because this is the first time in Singapore. Yes. So
exciting.
Fabulous that we can invite, that is Patricia and Rick, to come all over from US to come to Singapore. In the past, as we have to fly to US, so imagine there's a cost fees and the flight, okay, everything. So we have to reach in LA and take a transport. So searching, looking, but Singapore is so convenient. The transport, everything is so convenient, and there's the free shuttle in the airport. And we are here. So we are all connected. We are never alone. So the good thing is that join us in this family, in this circle of love. It was wonderful. Mm-hmm. You feel so great. You feel that you are always divinely guided and divinely protected. So this is the work that I know it is what I want in my life. And I will continue my journey, healing myself and sharing my knowledge and wisdom. So I urge you, please join in. Absolutely. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself an opportunity to see the beauty of you, your life, and your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it really is a Heal Your Life family. We really do have a worldwide family. And people leave the training feeling like they do have this new family that can support them and, share with them, etc. So that's a very important part of the program for us as well, that, we want that connection with you. We want to maintain that loving and heart connection with you, because that is really the foundation for this work. My husband Rick always likes to say, you're teachers of love when you leave the training. And that is absolutely what Louise taught. You know, loving yourself makes it so much easier to love other people, because you know that everybody, you know, has their own issues, their own faults, their own beauty, and you join in with that family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, Kim, anything else that you might like to share?
Yeah, like what Jasmine has shared with all of you, that we are really fortunate to have Patricia and Rick to be here in Singapore. This is the first time in Singapore that we have this kind of training, and we need not to travel all the way to, you know, to US, and it's so convenient to be here. And I would like to say that to me, life become more meaningful when I start to share about this teaching. I didn't know that, you know, I've I find myself uh, uh, I find my purpose in my life, that, you know, after sharing Louise Hay work, and I think this is something that we can do to contribute to healing, to heal the world. By healing ourselves, like Louise says, that, you know, by healing ourselves we also heal the world. So by sharing, we wouldn't find our purpose until when we, you know, until when we are willing to share the love within us. So I life become more meaningful to me when I start to do this work. I didn't know. I To me is that I didn't expect I'm doing this work. Yeah, initially, you know, I thought I'll be, because I used to be an engineer, a telecom engineer. So I didn't know I get to this point of my life where I find that doing this is so interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is my life. This is what I'm going to do in my life journey, to continue sharing and continue touching people in other country and all walks of life.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yes, and this work does transform even engineers.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I do want to mention that you know, we don't have any specific educational requirements for people to come to the training. In fact, when people say to me, "Oh, I don't have education," well, you know what? Louise never finished high school. And yet she has this book that sold 55 million copies, and she's transformed the lives of millions of people. So education is not the key. What we do ask for you to come to the training is that you're very familiar with Louise's work. You're actually using techniques like mirror work and affirmations, even, you know, inner child work and forgiveness in your own life. So that you're really beginning, you know, you're not at an entry level, in other words, that you're already working on yourself, that you're already really excited about sharing Louise's work. And that's the final thing, that just to be enthusiastic, that you really want to help other people transform their lives. And again, we do our absolute best, and it's our commitment to do the best at the training, that you get materials, that you get the experiences you need, and then we follow up with you afterwards to help you really get started with your workshops. And of course, Kim and Jasmine will be supporting you as well, ongoing after the workshop as well.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And that's such an important part of, you know, part of the work. So we invite you to email us any questions that you might think of after this webinar. We're so thankful that you joined us. And, you know, as Louise always said, remember to love yourself. You are worth it. And so it is. So thank you for taking the time, and we look forward to hearing from you. Again, we're happy to answer any questions. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is in the world. Here in the US, you know, it's evening. Over in Singapore, it's during the day.
It's morning.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.